Overcharging is still a huge problem in the United States. Car companies in the US, General Motors, Ford, Toyota, etc., they are listing recommended retail prices, but people are walking away almost every single time paying more than the recommended MSRP. I can't believe this is happening. Apparently, 90% of buyers paid $2,000 or more than the advertised price. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching The Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. I personally hate buying cars from dealerships. I don't do it anymore. I don't plan on ever doing it ever again. The Xpeng G6 that I bought, you can buy them online. Tesla vehicles, you can buy them online. There's quite a few brands now where you can just buy them online. Zeekr, same deal. Why would you want to go to a dealership if 90% of the time you're going to be paying thousands of dollars more than the MSRP? The FTC says that dealerships are tricking customers through price gouging and deceptive practices. And this is not the first time. This is an ongoing chronic problem in the United States and probably in other countries as well. Now, regulators are seeking $10,000 penalties for violations, but let's be honest, dealer groups are very powerful in the United States, and the chances of this happening is very, very slim. Car dealerships don't really have a great image, in my opinion, in the United States. There's so many stories like this that show that people are being price gouged. It's happening, I think, every single day. And there's complaints about this sort of thing all over social media all the time. According to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, and the state of Maryland, a local dealer network raked in millions of dollars thanks to deceptive practices. That dealer group is the Lindsay Auto Group of Washington, D.C., and it's now facing a lawsuit. Now, this is pointing out one particular dealer group, but the truth is they all do this. All right? Everyone knows this is a common practice. The complaint filed jointly by the FTC and Maryland authorities targets the Lindsay Automotive Group comprising Lindsay Chevrolet, Lindsay Ford, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, and Lindsay Management Company, LLC, as well as three individuals, including company president Michael Lindsay. I don't really understand why they're bothering to go after this dealer group, because Ford, GM, Toyota, their dealers do this across America constantly. I've done at least 10 videos over the last few years exposing these practices. The allegations, though, in this case, claim violations of the FTC Act and Maryland's Consumer Protection Act, accusing Lindsay of consistently misleading customers about pricing. If the lawsuit succeeds, the dealership group could be on the hook to reimburse customers for millions of dollars for these shady practices. In fact, if they succeed, this dealership group would probably go bankrupt. It just would not be able to pay the fines. The fines would be too big. Among the complaints, the most damning is that Lindsay allegedly didn't abide by its own advertised price very often at all, less than 10% of the time. It claims that the dealer would have a deceptive price online and would tell customers who called in that price was correct. Once in the building, the dealer network would then reportedly add on junk fees, tell the customer that they had to finance the car in-house or that they didn't qualify for the advertised price. Somehow, in many instances, they were able to just con people into buying the car anyway. One dealership manager cited in the complaint told a consumer that the price on the website was not realistic and that no one would qualify for it because it was nearly impossible to qualify for all the rebates to get to that price. Very common. In fact, Michael Lindsay, president of the company, told COO John Smallwood and others, "We never deliver the vehicle anywhere near the stated price," says the FTC. What impact did this have on customers? Well, remarkably, for a 3-year period from 2020 to 2023, 90% of customers who purchased vehicles from Lindsay Auto Group paid more than the advertised price. And not by $1 either. It was by an average of just over $2,000 due to unexpected add-ons or fees. Buying a car is a significant financial investment. Marylanders deserve to know upfront how much they will actually pay for a vehicle and should not be surprised by hidden charges that they did not budget for, said Attorney General Anthony G. Brown. Our office will not let car dealerships profit from unfair and deceptive practices. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, I wouldn't fall for this, but you might. Because often when you haven't done something before, a lot of people haven't bought a new car before, right? You go to a dealership and you either get told by a Toyota dealer you should buy a hydrogen car, they're the future, trust us, they're the future, they're going to be everywhere, and you get tricked. Or you get told, you know what, these fees, they're normal. The retail price, the MSRP, yeah, that's the price, you can have it for that. But remember, these fees you're seeing here, that's all part of the process. Everyone pays those fees, which is bullshit. Obviously, it's just made up. But because you haven't bought a new car from a dealership before, you don't know that. Some of that cost came in the form of add-ons that customers claim they didn't know about and didn't want, or were told were actually required. The filing says that the dealer group could end up having to pay $10,000 per violation of the Consumer Protection Act, while that remains to be seen. Hitting a greedy and deceptive dealership in the pocketbook sounds like the only way to spark change, says carscoops.com. Honestly, Ford and General Motors and Toyota and all the big car companies in the United States, they know that their dealerships do this. They allow it to happen. They do. They've mentioned this on a number of occasions. I think these practices have to stop, especially when these dealership networks are able to legally prosecute companies like Rivian and Tesla to prevent them from selling online in order to force people to have to go to a dealership. If you're going to force people to go to a dealership, then you should be shut down if you're going to practice these clearly criminal things that dealerships are doing all across the United States. For 8 consecutive years, China was Porsche's single biggest market. It made more money there than anywhere else by a mile. In 2021, Porsche sold 95,700 vehicles in China, easily beating the 86,000 cars it sold across all of Europe and the 70,000 that were delivered in the US. Porsche has historically also made more profit in China than anywhere else. However, things began to change. Sales slipped by 2% in 2022, but still pretty good at 93,000. That still beat out sales in Europe and the United States over that same period. However, Porsche's Chinese deliveries fell in 2023 to only 79,000. Things, have been significantly worse this year, as sales fell a further 29% and profits shrank by 42%.